So today we will be dealing with the presentation skills. So before I begin the topic, I want to refer the quotation here. As you can see the quotation, and this is truly applicable to us. What is the quotation? Let's see. Half of the world is composed of what of people who have something important to say and can't, and the other half have nothing to say and keep saying it. So some of the times it is issue with the intellectual people that they cannot have the technique to convey the thoughts, feelings, information using the words and language, and they couldn't convey it effectively. And there are the people who don't have anything to say, but they keep on saying something, right? So that is the difference between the intellectual person and the person who is we can say not so brilliant. But when it comes to the presentation, this will not be applicable to you. Or you have to be successful, whatever things you are disclosing, conveying to the people. And presentation skill is very important because you are spending so much time to prepare it, and you should be successful in whatever knowledge, ideas you are sharing with the people. Okay. So now we'll start with the concept. What is the oral presentation? Okay, so when it comes to the oral presentation, it's a very vast concept, and it could cover the majority of the presentations, public speeches you are doing. So what is an oral presentation? It is a form of oral communication. So basically oral presentation could be communicated orally, verbally. It is a participative two-way communication process characterized by formal and structured presentation of the message using visual aids. Now, some of the concepts I am just underlining here or highlighting. It's a two-way communication process and characterized by the formal and structured presentation, and it will have visual aids, right? So how is it communicative two-way process? Because whenever you are doing the presentation, during the presentation, audience may keep mum, but as soon as they will end, they will ask the question. Meanwhile, also they will be providing the feedback by nodding, making the gestures, postures, and making the eye contact with you. And all the presentations are formal and structured. We cannot say that one day just you thought to give the presentation and did it. It's not possible. Okay. So for that you have to set up it, you have to select the topic and prepare it, and it is very structured. So whichever presentation you are preparing, maybe you will be finding the similarities in the structure of every presentation, but it will be structured based on the needs of it, based on the outcome, based on the aims of the presentation. And presentation will not be successful, or it is not considered as a visual presentation or oral presentation unless you use visuals. So visuals will not be in the forms of like using OHP, overhead projectors, or LCDs, right? So it could be used using the flashcards, pictures, using Blackboard also, but there you are using the pictures, right? So visual aids will be very important, and visual aids are also in the vast variety, starting with the pictures, maps, graphs, charts, etc. Okay, so whenever you do the oral presentation, these are the features or these are the requirements which attach to that particular presentation. And the other thing is like it brings a desired change into the audience. So whatever aim of your presentation is, that aim should be achieved, and it will bring the change into the audience thinking, the attitude, and the motivation as well, right? And that is really essential. That's why the presentations are done, to change the mindset, to change the attitude, to change the thinking, to make the decision, right? And that's why the presentations are done. Okay, so when you are able to do it, you bring a desired change into the audience, means you are successful. As well as it involves conveying a lot of information effectively in a limited time span. So this is the another feature for a presentation, right? It conveys a lot of information, and that should be also effectively delivered to the people in a limited time span. Okay. Now coming, what kinds of the forms of the oral presentations are. So there are many forms of the oral presentation. Whenever you are doing or appearing for these kinds of the presentations, those could be the oral presentations. For an example, seminars, workshops, students presentation, industry conferences, product launches, press conferences, team presentations, departmental presentations, and company profile presentations. All are the kinds of oral presentations. Now, when it comes to presentation, it's a kind of public speaking for us because you are appearing before people. And when it comes to appear before people, everybody has a fear with him or her. And that's why how to banish that fear, it is very important, but we'll see it later on. But when it comes to the fear of public speaking, it is after the date. After the date, right? So as you can see, most of the people or the population of the world fears first thing, that is death, and the other one is speaking before people, appearing before people, publicly appearing and talking to them, right? So what I'm telling, why I'm telling you, because whenever you doing the presentation, the fear will be with you. Even an experienced person could also have the fear, right? Now you will have a little bit fear because you are appearing for the online presentations, right? But when you are appearing it on the stage, we do have a fear, right? Now, if we have a fear, how to remove that fear? That is the thing we have to learn here into today's lecture. So when it comes to the nature of the oral presentation, what it involves, first of all, we'll see what is the nature of oral presentation. So whenever you're preparing a presentation, it will have a purpose, it will have an aim, right? And every presentation has a basic purpose. So purposes could be different. Which are the purposes are there? We will see in detail. Then it is interactive. So while doing the presentation, that so much interaction is not happening as generally it happens into the discussions or group discussions. But oral presentations are always interactive. Then every presentation is formal. One person is doing the presentation and other people will keep mum, and it will be prepared on the formal communication only. It is not like you are talking to your friends and you are doing the presentations. So for any job purpose, you are preparing a presentation. For any motto, any reason that is pertaining to your business is known as formal. And for that reason, we are doing the presentations. Then irrespective of what topic you are covering into the presentation, it is always targeted to the audience. So always think whenever you preparing a presentation, it is prepared for the audience. As you are my audience, I am giving the presentation for you. Now when it comes to prepare an effective presentation, how to prepare it? So we'll see there are 4 basic P's you have to follow when you are preparing a effective presentation. First of all, it starts with plan. That is the first P. Second P, that is preparation. Third, practice. That is the third P. And the fourth element in effective presentation, the fourth P is presence. So these 4 P's should be prepared when you are preparing for the presentation. So starting with the first, planning. So for presentations, you have to plan well. If you are not planning, then you are certainly planning for fail. Right? So what it involves in planning, we'll see in detail. So when it comes to planning, as I said, every presentation has a specific, a particular purpose. Even every presentation will have a purpose, and what these purposes would be. So majority of the times you will have 3 purposes of the presentation: to inform, to perceive, or to demonstrate. Right? So these are the 3 basic purposes of the presentation. Okay. So you are just giving the information on a particular topic, or you want to persuade the audience to buy something or to make their mindset to buy something, and you are demonstrating, you are showing to do any particular activity or work that could also be done by presentation. So these are 3 basic purposes for the presentation. In planning, after the purpose, you have to know the purpose first. What is the purpose of the presentation? Based on that, you will be preparing the presentation. For an example, suppose if your employees, newly appointed employees are with you and you are giving information on the product, that will be the presentation you are preparing for the information purpose. So you are just providing information on your product. But same is not applicable when you are pursuing someone to buy your product. So same product presentation will be there, but the pursue audience, that presentation will be different, right? And using the same product, if you are giving the demonstration, that will be different presentation. So for the same product, if you have a different purpose for the presentation, your presentation will differ, right? So first of all, try to define what is the aim or the purpose of your presentation. Next, you have to do the analysis of the audience. As I said it earlier, that whenever you are preparing a presentation, you have to prepare it for the audience. So analysis of the audience will be very important thing. For an example, suppose if you are doing a presentation for the audience who will be of having the same background, same knowledge, and same background in education also. So if you will be very comfortable while doing the presentations. But if the audience will be from the higher level of the authority and they are expert from the field, at that time you have to plan the presentations differently, right? So analyze who is attending your presentation. Then make the analysis of the occasion. So when it comes to the occasion, when actually you are doing the presentation and in which timing of the day you are doing the presentation, it also affects your presentation, right? So analysis of the occasion could be like if you are doing the presentation to buy some new items to your department, to your organization, and your organization is suffering from the financial losses, then you have to plan it differently because the background is not suitable to you. Apart from it, in a daytime, when you are doing the presentation in the morning session, people will be rather happy, and if you cover up more time giving the explanation, people will be attending it effectively. But same is not applicable when people are about to leave and it's a evening time. Then you cannot expand the information into your presentation. So do the analysis of the occasion at what exact time and on what exact topic you are giving the presentation and what is the background of it, right? Then apart from it, the fourth thing comes into the planning that is very important. You have to know your subject matter. If you don't know your subject matter, then you cannot deliver it effectively. So do you like the topic? You don't like the topic, you have to develop interest into it, and you should be over prepared when it comes to the subject matter. So you should know your subject matter well, and you also know yourself. In knowing yourself means you have to know your strengths and weaknesses. Are you comfortable when you stand at one place, or are you comfortable when you walk on the stage? Are you comfortable when you are just talking to every point without stopping, or do you want to take the pauses and ask the questions in between the presentation? What kind of the gestures you prefer? So that is the planning you have to do for yourself, right? And we cannot copy someone else. So that's why whichever style you have, whichever way of effectiveness you have to follow it. And that's how you have to know your strengths and weaknesses, right? So this is coming into the planning. All these 5 points are coming into the planning, right? Next come the preparation. As you plan your presentation based on the previous slides information, as we have already seen it, you define the purpose, you did the analysis of the audience, then you analyze the occasion, you also know the subject matter, and you know yourself, then you can move on preparation, right? So while preparing a presentation, following points should be considered. Okay, so which are they? We'll see in detail all these points, right? So when it comes to your preparation, it starts with your structure of the presentation, right? It's really important that you should have a proper structure of the presentation. Traditionally, we will have the structure like objectives, beginning or introduction, main content, summary, conclusion, recommendations, and questions. So this is the basic structure when it comes to prepare the presentation. But depending on the topic you are covering into your presentation, structure may change. And for the changes, we'll see in coming slides, right? So basically, this is the traditional structure I'm just discussing here. You have to start with the introduction. So when you're starting the introduction, you have to grab the attention of the audience. Once you will be able to, or you will be able to grab the attention of the audience, they will be with you throughout the presentation. Then comes the main theme, and that is the content which is relevant to your topic. Your explanation, your example, statistical data will be coming into the main theme or main discussion. And the last part will be the summary or conclusion. Your presentation should end with a summary and conclusion. Then you have to stress on the key messages or key message you want to deliver through the presentation. Now, as I said, for different topics, you can just plan it differently. Coming to the structure. So what the structural changes will be there in your presentation, depending on the topics we will be talking now. So basically, you have to start with the opening or the introduction, right? So whenever you are starting the introduction, you have to get the attention of the audience. I said it, but how to get the attention of the audience? There are certain techniques you can use. For an example, starting statement, then statistics data which will shock the audience, telling a brief story which will run for 1 or 2 minutes. Then you can raise the questions. Only yes no type of the questions could be raised, right? And if you are asking the descriptive question, raise it and you have to answer it yourself. You cannot expect it from the audience side. Then you can start with a humor or joke pertaining to your topic. Then you can just show the outline of the whole presentations and starting with the quotations, right? So these are the techniques you can use when you are starting your presentation, right? So if you are starting traditionally like, hi, I'm XYZ, I'm giving the presentation on the X topic, let's start with an introduction. So the first one is the introduction is. So if you start like this, it will be quite boring for the audience, right? So start it differently. Then after the introduction, you can introduce the subject. Okay, so whatever the subject you are discussing with the audience, you can introduce it. And you have to tell why the audience have to listen it. So tell them the reason what they will receive, what they will get after you end the presentation. Right? So this is the basic opening of your presentation. You can plan it differently. Then comes the main body or the discussion. Now, when it comes to the main body, we do have to discuss so many things pertains to the same 3 or 4 concepts, right? And many times people fail because they convey so much information and include so many ideas. So this is not acceptable. When you are talking about the ideas, just talk about 3 to 4 ideas only, right? If you include so many ideas, people may divert from the main concept or the main theme, right? Then you have to focus on the main ideas, 2 to 4, supported by the appropriate details. All the quotations, statistical data, graph, chart, maps, videos, pictures will be providing and proving the main ideas you are discussing, right? Then relevant supporting content should be scientific and up to the point. You cannot lie to the audience. Maybe they are not understanding what you lie to them, but you should not lie to them. And the information you are giving into the presentation should be scientific and up to the point. Now, when it comes to preparing the main body, as I said, there should be a change when it comes to arrange the structure of your presentation. Basically, you are starting with the introduction. Now, when it comes to prepare the main body, what changes you can make accordingly, what topic you are discussing. So the first change would be like, if you are talking about the chronological way of giving the presentation. So this will be applicable to the topics as I'm discussing there in example. You can mention these topics in chronological orders like history of sports and global warming. So for chronological topics, you will have a beginning, the middle, and the end, right? So when you're starting about or talking about the history of sports, so you can just start with when the sports started into the history, then development of it, and what is its current status. Then coming to the global warming, you have to start with what is global warming, when it was started, and what is the problem and solutions, right? So if your topic pertains into this category, then you have to just prepare the main content in a chronological order. Second, that is categorical. You have to prepare some of the 4 or 5 categories of the topics you are covering into the presentation. So this will be applicable to the topics like the role of advertising. So what kind of the advertisements are available? Categories of those advertisements you can prepare, and energy sources. All the energy sources could be divided into the categories, and then you can just cover up the main content into the presentation. Third technique you can use, cause and effects. If there is a existence of the cause and its effect on, then you can select this particular method of discussion. For an example, internet boon or ban. Everybody is using the internet. So what are the reasons to use them and what are the effects of it, right? Then effects of movies on the youth. Everybody love to watch movies, but what are the effects of it? Reasons to watch and what are the effects? So that is the cause and effect method could be used to cover up the discussion. Then the last one, problem solution. So if there is an existence of the problem and you want to suggest the solution, you can use this particular method. For an example, population explosion, right? So population, over increasing population is a problem with us, and we will discuss this thoroughly, and we also suggest the solution. So coming to the structure of your presentation, depending on what the nature, the scope and the information you are preparing your topic, the preparation of the main content could be prepared in different ways, right? So these are 4 basic ways in which you can arrange your information. Then comes the conclusion. Every presentation will end with a conclusion. Without conclusion, I will not allow you to end it, right? So in conclusion, what you have to prepare? So you have to summarize the presentation into the conclusion. So whichever points you have already discussed, you can summarize them briefly. Then you can re-emphasize the central idea. At the beginning, if you have conveyed what the audience will receive after attending the presentation, re-emphasize that concept, what they have received or what the information they have received. Then focus on the goal. Whatever goal you have, if you want to pursue, you want to inform or you want to demonstrate. Do you able to achieve that particular goal? It will be proved in the conclusion, right? Then you can motivate the audience to respond, as the next step will be to ask the questions. So in conclusion itself, you can create a motivation to the audience to raise the questions, and you can provide the closure while using these terms. In conclusion, lastly, finally, as my last point, these terms or words could be used to conclude, so the audience will come to know that you are concluding the presentation, right? Now, when you are preparing the presentation, as we are looking for the preparation phase, you prepare the presentation, but some of the times you have to also prepare the prompt. Now, what is prompt? Prompt are the short bullet points and keywords, right? As I have also prepared the prompts on this particular presentation. These are the prompts for me. These statements could be the prompts for me, so that these prompts could enable me to speak to you effectively. Same way, it's not possible to copy the heading only into your presentation file. And if you're copying, you will not be able to explain it effectively. So transfer that particular heading into the prompt, convert it into a short bullet point, short bullet sentence, so that it will enable you, when you as soon as glance through it, you would be able to speak the point, the information. So that is known as prompt. Put your entire prompt onto your PowerPoint slides, right? So all the bullet points you have prepared on every single slide could be known as prompt. And these prompts are for you. Maybe audience also getting the information through the prompts and the headings you have used, but these prompts will be enabling you more to speak up, right? Now, after you prepare the whole presentation, you have to plan the visual aids, right? So if you are planning the visual aids before the presentation, those will not be effective, because first of all, you have to check out the content you prepared, and based on the content you prepared, you have to plan the visuals. Students, are you able to get me? सोना नहीं है किसी को? If you have any doubt, you can ask me in between. Okay? Can you respond me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So visual aids can be planned at the end of the preparation phase. So when it comes to the visual aids, many times we are preparing the visuals so differently that it could create a problem, a strain on the audience to read it, to see it, or sometimes so much information is given on the slides. So when you are planning the visual aids, these will be the guidelines to you. For any presentation you are preparing or planning, plan these visuals so that it will be effective when it comes to give the presentation. So the first thing, use simple fonts, colors and graphs. Many times to attract the audience attention and to look the presentation different, we are selecting different fonts and colors and the graphs. Do not plan them because people will also getting concentrated on your graphs and charts, maps, visuals once they will see on the screen or on the slides. Okay, so use simple fonts so that everybody can use or read it without having the problems. Then use images and clip art. Every slide should have content and image. If you are not getting the proper images, you can add up the images which will convey the main theme of that particular point, right? Then when you are planning your bullet points per slide, it should be having the limitation 3 to 7. Many times we can see that there are 10, 20 points are enlisted by the presenter on the slide. And when we are audience there, we tend to read every point. No, we are not reading them and nobody is gonna read them, right? So while inputting the bullet points per slide, it will have a limit 3 to 7 maximum 7 bullet points, right? Then don't overcrowd your slides, it will not look professional. If you are inserting one images, two images, acceptable, while inserting charts, graphs, one graph per slide, one table per slide will be acceptable because people will remember it for longer. If you inserted two tables, it will create a confusion for the audience, right? So you have not to overcrowd your slide with the content. Then new or different visual aids wake the people up. It will be concerning to your animations, right? So when you give the animation and effects, that could be adding effectiveness to your presentation as people will be getting attracted to new visuals and new bullet effects you have added to your slides. Okay. Then apart from the preparation of the content, your voice is equally important when it comes to give the presentation because the knowledge and information will be delivered through your voice. Okay. For the online mode also, many times you are planning your presentations using headphones or earphones. And because of the earphones also you are sounding too loud or too low. So for that purpose, before you start the presentation, practice it within a group. Also check whether you're audible without using the headphones or earphones. Sometimes there will be technical errors as well. So I'm asking you not to use headphones or earphones while doing the presentations because whenever you're using the mic of laptop or mobile phone, it will be also good one as compared to your headphones and earphones. Okay, I'm also not using it because it's better if I conduct the presentations or sessions without using them. Okay, and we do not have a habit to use them in our communication, so it also creates a problem. You have to fold it up, then adjust it again and again. Okay, so do not use it if you are not comfortable. So when it comes to your voice should be louder and clear than your normal pitch. In a presentation also, when you are doing it offline, you should be a little bit louder as compared to your speaking manner. As many times into the classroom also, I need to tell the students to speak loudly. So this is not repeated to you because you have to adjust your voice depending on what is the size and the people present into that classroom or into the room. Okay. So your pitch and volume can vary depending on the situation. If you are frightened, you will have higher pitch. If you are comfortable, you will be having lower pitch. Then do not forget to give overemphasis on the main ideas you are discussing. Stress those words, stress those ideas so that people understand that this is the main thing you want to discuss with the people, right? So your voice should be also equally important, which is adding to the effectiveness to your presentation. Then apart from it, your appearance should be good. So as I said that you should be also in formals. Without formals, I will not be allowing you to appear for the presentations. Right? Whenever you going for an offline presentation also, people will judge you within 30 seconds. Okay? So how you dressed for the formal situation will understand that are you aware about that happening, what is the attitude about that situation, and are you prepared, are you look professional. So everything will be conveyed by your appearance without having a single word with the audience. When it comes to the appearance, dark colors read like a business line. So whenever it's possible, whenever you're going for a presentation, wear the dark color shirts and trousers, but it will be also suitable to your skin tone, right? Then wear comfortable shoes to wear your feet evenly, and those shoes should be comfortable to you so that whenever you're doing the presentation, it will not face a problem. Many times you do not have a habit to use the formal shoes, and when you are wearing it for the first time or for the presentation also, it will be creating a problem for you, and it will disturb your presentation. Then you can move a bit on the stage, but unnecessary movement is not allowed, right? Then you should look confident. People will not detect your stage fright unless you verbally tell them and convey it through your body gesture or posture. Okay. Then when it comes to the professional dress code, some of the things I'm explaining here, shirt should always have a color, right? Whenever you're wearing a shirt and the shirt should be formals, having full sleeves shirts are acceptable. Okay, so Chinese collar shirts are not allowed to appear allowed to wear at the time of the presentation, right? Then solid color is recommended, and they should also have the long sleeves even in summer, and do not fold your sleeves. It is a now style. Whoever is appearing for the presentation folds the sleeves and appears on the stage. Okay, do not fold the sleeves. Then tie should coordinate with the color of your shirt. If you are wearing the tie, then there should be a combination of the color and the patterns between your shirt and the tie. Okay. Then always wear a belt. Irrespective of you like it or you don't like, when you do the shirting, you have to wear the belt. And the color of the belt should have a match with your color of shoes, right? And your belt, laptop purse, or bag, and shoes should be polished. So for the color of the trousers, you should prefer brown, beige, or olive or gray color. It is business-like color and looks good. And sock color should have a match with your pant. Okay, your socks should also have a match with the pant color. And whenever you're using the shoes, those shoes should have laces. Without laces is not considered the professional shoes. Okay, so this is about the professional dress code. As you can see the difference into the pictures here. This first picture talks about the professionalism and the look. The other one is the people who are not wearing the formals, and you can differentiate between them. Okay. Now coming to your own strengths and weaknesses, as I said it earlier that you know yourself well, and accordingly you have to develop your style. So whichever style you have, stick to it and try to develop it. Okay, do not try to copy anyone's style. So you already have a style, don't try to copy others. Use the words and sentences you use in normal days. Do not try to memorize the words, sentences you read while preparing. If you are trying to memorize them, then you will be stopping in between. Several pauses will be there. To minimize it, do not try to memorize the words and concepts, and be yourself. You're yourself while you're doing the presentation. Then at the end of the presentation, it is expected that questions should be asked on it. And you have to sketch that idea that the questions should be asked. And what kind of the questions should be asked? You have to prepare the list of the questions, which kind of the normal questions could be asked, and you also need to prepare the answers for those questions. So at the time of the questions, when somebody is asking you the questions at the end of the presentation, you should not fumble for the words, concepts, and the answers, right? Now, this is the preparation phase, how it starts and how it ends, right? So it's you So you will starting with the first idea. That idea should be the rough idea. Then you just prepare the content. Then it will turn to improved idea. Then you design your story, your visuals, your visual concepts also develop. Then you use the graphics and the animation. Then you also prepare for the delivery coaching, and that is the execution. Okay, so it's the preparation from you to audience, right? So prepare it well. And always remember that whenever you preparing, you need to also practice. Okay, because practice makes man perfect. Okay, if you are not practicing, you will not be perfect into it. So when it comes to practice, rehearse all the points what you prepare. You can try to rehearse them, try to memorize them. You can stand before a mirror. You can make a video of yourself. You can ask your friend or family member to observe you while you are rehearsing, right? Then you can rehearse with all the visual aids with you. You can start the PPT and you as if you are giving the presentation. So it will be important because you through that visuals you will be coming to know how much time is required to complete your presentation, and this way you can keep the track of time, right? So while practicing it, you can use the visuals, whichever visuals you have prepared, right? Now coming to the presence, as after the preparation and practice part, that is the last P we will be studying here. And when it comes to your presence will start with the non-verbal communication you are doing, because before you start to speak a single word with the audience, your communication will be started using the non-verbal communication. So your non-verbal communication starts with your appearance. So you should look professional. Then you should have a proper posture. Posture is coming to the standing position, sitting position, whichever position you are having is known as posture. Then gestures could be how do you walk, how you sit, the movement you do at the time of presentation, that is known as gestures. Then eye contact, whenever you start the presentation, throughout the presentation as well, you have to make an eye contact with the people. Then also need to control your vocal elements like tone, pitch, rate and volume. Tone should be good, pitch should be high or low depending on what kind of content you are preparing. The rate of speaking is concerned with the speed of your sentences or uttering the words per minute, right? And the volume should be moderate so that everybody among the audience would be able to listen you carefully without putting the conscious efforts. So these all concerns with your non-verbal communication, as well as your visual elements will also be concerned with the non-verbal communication. Now, at the time of the presence, everybody will be having the stage fright. At the beginning also, people fear to appear before public, right? And that is the second highest fear we have in our life. Okay. So when you are handling the stage fright, some of the key points I am discussing here. First of all, some of the things you have to know. You feel more nervous than you appear. Nobody will detect your stage fright or nervousness unless you tell them, right? And while looking at you, nobody understands it. So you feel more nervous than appear, right? Then the more you think that you are nervous, the more nervous you feel. So only way out is stop thinking of nervousness. Then your audience cannot detect your stage fright unless you are talking to them directly about your stage fright. Then even the most experienced person will get nervous before appearing for the important presentation. So it's quite normal with all people. Now, when you do the presentation, how you are going to form the impact on the audience? So this is the statistical data I am just telling you. Your text which is given on the slides in the words, not the visuals, could also form 7% of the impact. So it's very less. Then your visuals, chart, maps, graph, videos will be forming impact up to 55%. Your body language as well. And your vocals, your pitch, rate, volume, tone could contribute up to 38%. So we can see that the visuals, your personal appearance along with the presentation you prepared and your vocals contributing more to form the impact on the audience, right? So you have to work here with the visuals and the vocals, right? Now some of the flaws in presentation. If your presentation is having the issues, people will certainly sleep, right? So which could be the flaws which will enable the people to sleep in your presentation. Let's see. First, lack of experience. So unless you are participating into the presentation or not preparing it effectively, you will not gain the experience, right? So whenever you are getting a chance, participate and get the experience. Then lack of enthusiasm. You don't like the topic or you don't like to appear for the presentation. You do not have an enthusiasm, will also not successful in presentation, lead to unsuccessful. Then lack of practice. If you are not practicing, then also you will lead to ineffective presentation. Lack of related material. You are not over prepared. You don't have a material content to speak on. Then lack of confidence. Confidence could be developed with the experiences. Then you do have the hesitation and stage fright, right? So these will be the factors which will be making your presentation ineffective. Now some of the factors which will make your presentation effective. When you start it differently and with a strong start, right? So whenever you are starting it, start it differently using the techniques. I will be elaborating them later on as well into this particular presence topic, right? So start it differently. Engage the audience within the first 2 to 3 minutes, even more earlier as well, within a minute, within a 2 minute, right? Then show your passion through your movements and gestures as if you are happy to be there and you are over prepared and you are delivering excellent presentation, right? Then make an eye contact. It shows your confidence and you are not lying to the people. Then don't forget to smile, as well as your body posture and posture should be proper, and you should not smile unless your topic is very serious, right? You are a smile. When you are smiling at the other people, they will also smile back to you. Then you have to do preparation. There is no other alternative available for this. Rehearsing and practicing could be making you more effective. Then grip the topic, develop the content in a such a way that you will be able to deliver it effectively. Know your subject matter, prepare valid explanation, information, statistical data, scientific discussion. Then be positive while giving the presentation. If you portray yourself positively, your presentation will be positive. And avoid the stress. Negative thoughts should be avoided. Now I will be telling you some of the signposts you can use at the time of the presentation. These signposts will be enabling the audience where you actually moving into the presentations. First of all, whenever you want to make the next point, you need not to say the next point. Moving on, right? You can also refer to next point as well, but moving on will show the audience that you are moving on. You finished the last point. Then whenever you want to change the topic, changing the topic, you cannot refer it turning to, going to, right? So it means you are changing the topic. Then whenever you want to give the more details, you should not say I am providing the details. You say expanding this. Then whenever you want to talk of the topic, you digress or divert. Then whenever you want to refer the previous point you already explained, you can refer to going back or go back that particular term. Then whenever you want to provide an outline of the point you have covered, you have to summarize. Then whenever you want to repeat the point, you recap. Then for your final remarks, you can say concluding this, summarizing this, or to conclude. Things you have not to do while doing the presentations. Read directly from the notes. Yes, I will look for it. See, nobody is allowed to read directly from the screen or from any content which is put up there besides your phone or a laptop. I will say that whenever you are making the presentation, doing the presentation, you have to look into the camera, right? So read directly from the notes is not allowed. Read directly from the screen. Some of the times students just read word by word from the screen. If you do it, I will ask you to stop. Then you need not to turn back on audience. Whenever you're doing the presentation, you should not turn back on audience. Then you should not have your hands into the pocket. It shows nervousness. No nervous gestures like scratching your heads, right? Not making an eye contact. Then you cannot talk too fast or too quietly. Things you can do at the time of the presentation: making an eye contact, can glance through the notes and the uh, slides or the bullet points. Then appropriate gestures can be done, like first point, second point, third point. Then you can ask the rhetorical questions. Yes, no, whatever the questions could be asked. Then you can control the stage fright. First of all, if you are not confident enough and you have a stage fright, you have to reach to the venue and talk to audience. So it will increase your confidence and you will feel that the audience are known to you. Then you have to visualize that you are giving the excellent presentations from start to end and everybody is appreciating it. If you visualize yourself successful, you will be successful. Then if you've done a mistake while giving the data or any other information while doing the presentation, do not apologize. You should not say that I have given the wrong information, sorry for that. Because if you do it, people will be just concentrating on your mistakes more. Then concentrate on your message, not on the medium. If any of the medium is not functioning well, for an example, your PPT is not running well, and even any other problems are there, electricity goes off, then you should not feel frustrated. Just continue whatever you are doing. Okay. Then always anticipate that the questions would be asked to you at the end of the presentation. So just prepare the list of the questions which could be asked and prepare extra slide with the answers for those questions. Then whenever somebody is asking you the question, paraphrase that question, repeat the same question. It will confirm that whichever question that person has asked you, you understood it. So it will be easy for you to give the answer. Then if you don't know the answer, admit it and tell them. You will just get the information on it, and you can also ask the answer to be given from the audience if you don't know the answer, but you should not lie to the people or giving the wrong information. Okay. So when it comes to give the presentations, effective presentations, you will have a stage fright. So stage fright will not vanish within a day, within a week, within a month, but it will vanish when you are preparing, planning, and giving the presentations and gaining the experiences. So gain the experience. Experience builds confidence in you, and which is the key to effective public speaking. It is not only applicable to the presentation only, but for the public speaking as well, right? And without gaining the experiences and practicing it, you cannot be effective speaker or presenter. So whenever you think you have a stage fright, you are in this situation, as you can see the picture here, certainly it could be improved only when you are gaining experiences and practicing and preparing.